Blokes podcast episode 8 already. Pretty crazy. Back to doing just us three. It's been a while. Took a little bit of a break from guests because we've got some uni, don't we, Daniel?
And we got some big names lined up as well.
Yeah, and July is going to be a big month for guests.
Got to edge it out. So to speak.
Yeah, we probably have like 6 guests on in July alone. Yeah.
Man,
So
can I just say, you're looking good in that shirt, Hughesy.
Thanks, mate. Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do
Got to
it.
rep the brand.
yeah, merch is looking good, boys.
Got a fuck ton here.
Yeah, we do. You can actually buy merch in the item shop, in the marketplace, in our Discord. That's up until mint. Obviously, there'll be free merch when you mint. But yeah, enough of that. Let's get into what we want to talk about. Obviously, the crypto market is in the bin. There's a lot of reasons for that. Inflation, just the economy in general. Yeah. Stock market's down, everything's going up in price. So yeah, people value cash more than they do holding investments, which is completely fair enough. Everything costs so much right now. But we're in the market. Obviously, we're selling our NFTs in ETH. So obviously, we're big crypto guys. So on that, how long do you reckon the bear market will last?
Well, I don't know. One side of me thinks it'll last that 3 to 4 year bear that it always does.
Yeah.
And then the other side of me thinks that once we get over this shitter of the government trying to taper down inflation, et cetera, we'll almost bounce back into a bull. But that's also because I'm a perma bull. And but in reality, I do think it'll be until 2024 or 2023 until we actually see like new all-time highs and a proper bull rally that we just had. I'm not sure. What about you guys?
When did you say?
2023, 2024.
Yeah,
so
right.
That'd stick with the time frame. I don't know. I haven't really.
Well, in my opinion, it's so unpredictable, right? No one knows, especially because there's so many more people that know about it now. Like we weren't even around in the last, and then everyone that is in our Discord, everyone that I know, basically wasn't even around before, and now they are. And I think actually NFTs have been a good thing because a lot of people have become addicted to the communities. And I'm going to touch on, the bear market and how it's affecting NFTs in a bit. But I think that helps as well. Like all the technology is finally coming to use. Obviously, they're still building Ethereum has 500 developers, maybe more. I think it's 1,000 maybe.
Shitloads.
Yeah, so they're still working, they're still building what we're investing in, That's why we're still investing in it.
That's right.
Because we still believe in the future, obviously. Obviously, I don't think it's very predictable. I would love to see it come back. But at the same time, I'm not mad at the prices. The only thing that I'm mad at is that we're trying to release an NFT project at the same time, which is cool. I think it's possible still, and I think it only proves that we're a better project if we can achieve everything and prove that we are around. Because if we can survive a bear market like this, then we can survive any bear market, especially after mint. But I think, how are we going to play it? Like, how are you playing it? Me personally, I think it's a great time to be, maybe starting a business, getting as much cash flow as you can, not just a normal job, but start something else on the side of your job, get as much cash flow as you can and invest it now, because in 3 years' time, that's going to be worth, well, obviously we can't predict the future, but it's that's what people do. That's the way you do it. Get some cash flow in, start investing. Dollar cost average, so you're not getting fucked if it goes down too low, if it gets fucked if you go too high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But almost part of me thinks what did everyone expect? Yeah. Like we went from what was Bitcoin in fucking 2020, $8,000, all the way up to 69. What do you fucking expect?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Of course it's gonna go down. I mean, did we expect to these levels? Maybe not. But what do you expect? Of course, it's going to take a shit down.
And everyone was telling us it was going to happen, right?
Yeah, but you're just blind to it because you want that confirmation bias. But
it's more I don't think we were necessarily blind to it. I feel like it's just people did not actually expect it to go down as fast as it did.
That's right.
They thought it was going to go down. They're going to be able to see it happen. They're going to be able to sell.
Prepare for it.
No, but it was just one big drop, which is cool. I completely understand why. All the rich people have just decided, now I'm going to dump.
Well, that whole Luna scenario was
that's probably the trigger.
I think it was, that was a major trigger. But it also goes back to not investing what you can't afford to lose. Us three, we're fine. Obviously, have I lost more money than I've ever seen? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But am I still okay at the end of the day? I still have someone to sleep. Obviously, I do.
Yeah.
But my heart goes out to those people who didn't really expect it.
Exactly.
And who couldn't afford to take those losses.
Yeah, and I think that's a good learning lesson. If you're looking at this now, don't run away from the crypto market. Don't run away from investing, but it does suck. And I do feel bad for the people that over-invested and that all their money's probably in there, or that's not a good look. But
well, what a great experience for us three, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
What a great time to just actually, because I wrote it all down on my fucking piece of paper for my investing strategy. Did I listen to myself? Absolutely not. But now this comes to me as an actual way of learning. And next time I will probably take a more substantial chunk out of when I deem to be the top.
Yeah, well, I think we are so lucky that we're looking at these prices and we know, like, about it, and like we're super lucky. I think I tweeted the other day, like, this is just an opportunity. Like, when are you gonna, like, in 3 years' time, you're gonna be wishing you bought as much as you could we were doing this podcast today.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, have you started buying back in?
No, I have not.
No,
but does that mean it's a good time to buy right now? No. I had an Uber driver actually last night. He was talking. I told him about what I do and all this crap, and he goes, "So, you know, heard of Solana?"
No,
and I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard of Solana. I've got $5,000 in it. I put in 2 weeks ago, and obviously that's taken a bit of a hit."
Yeah.
And he's like, "So, what do you think about all this crap?" And I'm like, "He's like, is it a good time to invest? I want to put a lot of my money in now." I'm like, "Just wait, just patience, because I think it could continue to go down, or it's just going to sit." I don't think, like, the percentage of it just going really far back up now is not going to happen, in my opinion. Yeah. It's going to take some really insane news, some crazy like that, especially with all the stuff going on in the world. But how are you playing it, Lewis?
Yeah, I'm just sitting back and watching it at the moment. I think, like, history repeats itself, and you hear the people say that have been a part of the past bear markets. They're like, well, I wish I bought at that lower price.
Yeah.
What are you two holding hands back there?
I didn't even mean for that to happen.
So it's kind of like, I think we're lucky in our youth. Someone texted me the other day checking in, being like, how are you going with all the market news? And I was like, actually, like, pretty okay. Like, I'm 23.
Yeah.
Even if I did go to $0, like, I'm lucky in my circumstances of having a stable job, good family, good friends. Like, it's only going to build back up eventually. In saying that, though, I obviously bought a VFriends Series 2 at, like, what was, I think it was like 4,000 Australian dollars.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting offers on that now of 0.35 ETH. So, like, that hurts in that sense, but at the same time, you've got to be unemotional to it.
And like, with Lewis buying, that's obviously not an issue. My what I'm most excited for about the bear market is not just the prices, is that all the shit projects, not just NFT projects, all the shitty cryptos are going to get flushed out. And if you look at 2017, the bull market at the top, and you look at the top 100 coins at the time, I think only 4 of them you'd recognize right now. It's the same right now. Maybe there's going to be a lot more because there's a heap more that are actually building some real world shit. But even right now, if you look at the top 100, I don't think you'll see more than 25 of them in the next bull market, to be honest, which I'm stoked about. As long as you can pick those ones, and you can, especially the ones that are at like that 25, you know, if you can pick like H-bar, for example, that might be one that's going to do well in the next bull market, but it's really cheap right now. Instead of just investing in ETH also, you should also be looking at dollar cost averaging into some other ones that could do more gains and stuff, which I'm looking at as well. Solana is definitely a cool one as well. Looking at, it's at like $40 right now Australian, which is ridiculously low in my opinion. I mean, Solana's cool. It doesn't have that much use case in my opinion personally compared to other ones like a future, but I mean, the way that people treat it with NFTs is enough for me to want to invest in it.
I think the other important thing as well is you jump on social media, like everyone's fucking going through this at the moment as well. Like you hear people talk about how they've lost millions. Like there's always going to be someone worse off than you in this bear market. Yeah. So like finding comfort in communities, I think is so important, and just checking in on people
Which is what NFTs have done.
Yeah.
A lot of people have come and they're in these NFT communities now compared to 2017 where a lot of people probably were like, holy shit, I just got fucking rammed. And now they're like thinking, oh, I can go hang out in this Discord. Everyone's in the same boat as me. You know, we all understand what's going on.
Yeah, and it's fun as like this. It's not fun, it is almost exciting and fun with the opportunity and potential that's going to come in the next little bit.
I think it is, yeah.
Like although money's not cheap at all at the moment, and you can't really afford to lose it all.
Yeah. Like
at the same time, it's also exciting to take a bit of risk.
Of course.
In the sense of well, what's going to happen?
And we all initially took that risk when we first bought in. Ages ago. When it was
and we didn't even know anything about it.
No. No, it's almost good just to be blind to the whole situation.
Yeah, which is what a lot of people did this bull market when they first entered in top of 2022, January. You know, like a lot of people just bought in thinking they saw the news. And now it's good to note, like you're going to see a lot of people shitting on crypto in the news. And that's just because it's hot. The news is constantly just going to report on what gets them the most clicks and stuff like that. So as long as you can obviously not ignore it, but because you don't want to be completely delusional, but as long as you can do your own research and make your own convictions, then you're all good.
What a reality check though with that Celsius stuff talking about news. Bro, what a reality check. Like, of course they can't pay you 10% annually on a fucking stable coin. Well, like, of course they can't. Something's got to happen.
Didn't a bunch of exchanges come out like 2 months ago and said, like, if we go into a massive dip, we're going to have to close trading because we are simply not going to be able to afford to.
And just take a step back, everyone's shadowing crypto.com for slashing their rewards.
Yeah.
They had to do it, and now Celsius didn't.
Could you imagine they didn't slash their rewards now?
And then they would be in that position, and now Celsius is in that position.
Yeah.
They're not bankrupt yet, but
no, they've done the right thing. That's for sure. Celsius, I think,
but
there's a lot of negativity.
Done it probably at the peak. Took that negative PR, then they'd be a lot better off. But they chose to run with it.
But do you really think it's a bad look for them? I honestly don't. Like, if you're seriously, unless I can understand why people are butthurt if they've got all their money in there and they can't take it out. I completely understand that. But like, if you're not that person, like, I completely understand what they're doing.
That's just the reality of it as well. Like don't get fucking delusional in the sense that if it goes to shit, like you're not going to be able to take your money out. Like it's similar to what happened with the GameStop stuff and Robinhood. Like they stopped they paused the trading, which I completely understand.
But there's a way around this. This is centralized exchanges. If you have your money in MetaMask, there's not an issue.
Yeah, but you're not getting that 10%.
No. But yeah, exactly. So I don't want the viewers, this is what I'm trying to say, I don't want the viewers to be scared to invest because they're not going to be able to take money out. Of course. Where there's ways that you can have your money there and you can take it out whenever you want. Have a ledger. I've got a ledger over there in my room and that's got my ETH sitting in there. I'll be able to take that whenever I want and sell it. You know, like yes, Lewis and Daniel are talking about exchanges and they're centralized and they can close it off, trading and everything, basically take your money when they're not. But yeah, don't be scared, okay?
No,
I think the other thing as well that we've learnt from the podcast guests over the last couple of weeks is, and other people we've spoken to that are truly successful, they've all gone through that point of, holy fuck, like I'm going to lose all my money or go bust.
Yeah.
Like no one that I've spoken to who is successful, self-made in their own rights hasn't had that point in their life where they're either back at zero or they just take the whole risk.
No. Phil was very good at risk management.
Yeah, but he also...
No, he only ever put... No, sorry, I don't want to cut you off here. He only ever put $5,000 into Debella. I was listening to his podcast. He only ever started with $5,000 and he was completely aware that if he lost that $5,000, he would be fine and nothing bad would happen.
But when they went to Melbourne, there was the chance that they were going to
No, he was already built then.
No, but when they went to Melbourne, there was the chance that they weren't going to succeed in that.
Yeah, but he would still be fine within the Brisbane market. Like he wasn't risking the house.
Yeah.
There was in no point.
But Lewis take it to that next level.
In my opinion, Lewis isn't necessarily saying 2-0. He's just saying like, if something fails, you always can have another chance at going again.
That's right. Correct.
Well, let's move off that. How low? I mean, this is my last crypto question for now about the actual crypto prices. How low can you see ETH actually going? I'll answer first. I think it got to like $150 in the last one. Obviously, a lot more adoption now. A lot more people are stuck staking it. You know, a lot of people have a lot of sitting in NFTs.
Yes.
I personally see the lowest it could actually even go is honestly, unless everyone actually starts flooding it and it's no longer something people actually want to hold. I honestly think it can't go any lower than $700.
Yeah.
US or Australia?
US, yeah. But it could obviously go a little bit lower than that. But the amount of people that hold it now, it's just not, in my opinion, going to happen.
And the amount that's been burnt as well, contrasted to other cycles.
And let's go over Ethereum 2.0 is actually dropping in Q4 this year. A lot of people are saying it's going to change gas fees. It's not going to change gas fees at all. If you listen to all the most knowledgeable people, they don't think it's going to change gas fees at all, which is because they're not actually doing anything to change gas fees. That might be a future thing that they're working on. So don't get your hopes up that ETH is going to be completely gas-free anymore. No, it's not. It might be faster, you know, but it's not going to be cheaper gas. Will that maybe help the effect like of ETH in the future? Definitely.
Of course.
100%. Maybe the end of this year we could see another pump in ETH. Possibly, you know?
Yeah, by a short-term relief rally almost.
It's just listen to the news and then always go back to what Warren Buffett says. Fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful, right? And if we listen to that advice, we could have looked at January and been like, holy fuck, everyone is so greedy right now. Like,
that's right.
Even if it continues to go up, everyone's greedy. Why would I not just sell? Like, you know what I mean? Next bull market I'm thinking about, right now, everyone's fearful. What should we be doing? Getting greedy. Get that cash flow in, start buying up ETH, start buying up Bitcoin even. Bitcoin is even looking like, I've never wanted to invest in Bitcoin, but now it's looking fucking juicy.
Oh, it is a good investment because it's most stable. Well, going on to that, the only way that I could contrast ETH price is to then look back at Bitcoin, right? Because obviously all correlated. And I'd probably see Bitcoin possibly getting to 15 US. Yeah. It's already at 20 now, so that's not a massive drop.
It could go lower,
What's that? That's a 25% dip from current. And that could definitely happen. So, yeah, I would then anticipate that ETH might get to 650 US, maybe somewhere around
Yeah.
there. And I don't think that should come as a shock to anyone, to be
No,
honest.
and $650 US is so nice for ETH.
And that's still a fuckload though when you contrast it to 2 years ago.
Exactly.
When it was maybe not 2 years ago, but at one point it was like $70 per
Yeah,
ETH.
yeah.
Well, at one point it was fucking worth nothing.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So what a way we've come, and I think 650 would be quite reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, can't complain at all.
No.
Well, the other thing as well, like there's so many people tied into it now, and you've obviously got the investors and Michael Saylor, the guy that you fucking love.
Yeah.
Like they're holding a significant amount unless they completely
Bitcoin.
sell off. Yeah, Bitcoin this is. Unless he sells off everything, which incredibly unlikely. Like the price is just not going to go to zero.
No, and I feel like people, for example, like that El Salvador guy, he's held every single thing so far. There's massive people out there that are holding because they kind of have to because they bought at the top. And, you know, fair enough. Let's get into a little bit about how it's affecting NFTs.
Down 66%.
What is?
Last month, OpenSea sales. Last month or the month before?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So if we look at, obviously I joined in August and there was a period in September and October when NFTs took a hit, and it's because crypto was taking a hit. Obviously nowhere near as much as it is right now, but it's a good little indicator to look at. And the popular trend then was to buy blue chip projects. It's similar to what you do in the crypto market. Why is everyone buying ETH and Bitcoin? Because they know those ones are going to be around.
Yep.
Whereas they're not buying Solana and stuff because they don't necessarily know for sure. Well, that's a bad example, but
No, but I know what you're saying.
yeah. So right now, a lot of the blue chip projects are going up, not as much as last time. I think we actually will see soon like a massive pump in blue chip projects simply because they've got to hedge against the prices a little bit more than they are right now. Like right now, it kind of just like, for example, mutants were sitting at 16 before the drop and they're still sitting at like 17. You know, I can see them going up more than that and stuff like that. Like that's just what I'm looking at. And there are projects that are going up. I mean, if you want detailed analysis of the actual NFT market and even the crypto market, our man Bongolo, he's a fucking, he is a most humble man. He will never tell you that his shit is good but like it's actually good shit. Like
in the alpha channel, like people have got to freaking get into that. Like as he said the other day, like 10 ETH profit.
That's right.
Yes. 10 ETH profit if you didn't reinvest
as well.
So like if you were to like make a profit on the first one, then reinvest that and then double, bro, you could have had like 100 ETH.
And this is in a bear market.
And this is in a bear market, and he's calling these plays and he's making 10 ETH. Well, he didn't make 10 ETH, but he's telling so what he did is he said what time he listed what he called it at, so his call, and then what he said to sell it at, and they've all reached, you know, whatever, and he's calculated 10 ETH. It's pretty crazy. The man's popping off. Greatest pickup for us, absolute legend. Bongolo, come join the Discord, guys, if you haven't. If you're just watching this podcast on YouTube or Spotify, definitely come join the Discord. Even if you're not a Discord person, it's a good way to get some information on the space, and that's what we're trying to provide. It's a part of our pillars. One of our core pillars is education.
That's right.
And
he also makes it very easy to understand as well.
Yeah.
If you're not in that world, so you can actually
so he's
his advice.
He's a scientist, microbiologist. I'm not going to, you know, say what he does because I don't know because his credentials are pretty good. Yeah. But what he does for a living and what he's been doing at uni is he does research reports. So it's simply him just doing research reports that he's already been doing, and the structure, it looks nice. He knows what he's talking about. He does hours of research. I know this for a fact. He's just a solid guy. So definitely come check it out. We don't have time to do as much research as him. Obviously, I'm paying him, but he just loves doing it anyway.
He's got a PhD in NFT research.
See, the other thing as well, which I think is interesting about the NFT market, and it'd be interesting to get your perspectives on it. So you've got, in my opinion, the price of the NFTs, and the market obviously disagrees with this. So for example, a mutant ape, in my opinion, a $60,000 mutant ape 2 months ago, in my opinion, should be worth $60,000 in terms of that community that you're joining.
Yeah. Which is why I think it's going to hedge.
Exactly. And that's going back to what you were saying before. Like, I think the reason why it's probably not still $60,000 is because a lot of people made a fuck ton of money in the last bull market, money they didn't have before they got into crypto. That money has now gone back down and they're back to their initial state of wealth. So they can't pay what the market price, in my opinion, should be.
And a lot of these people didn't just make their money off crypto and stuff. Maybe a lot of them did. But a lot of them have jobs in the real world that are paying them a lot of money. So they're stacking up cash flow as well. And you know for a fact that if they're bullish, they're going to start reinvesting. It's only happened. How long was the crash? Like fucking 5 days ago, a week ago?
Yeah.
Like give them a few months of stacking up some money and they're going to start buying and buying again. Yeah, they might start buying ETH. All the smartest people will actually start buying cryptos. They might not necessarily buy NFTs.
Yeah.
I think NFTs are good if you can pick the right one because you can make double or triple when ETH comes back up. But yeah, I definitely agree with that.
What content are you absorbing at the moment in regards to staying up to date and educated with it?
Well, what I've been telling our team, other than these two guys that are in the space and stuff like that, is just connection making. It's the number one thing. It's the easiest thing to do. If you guys are out there and you haven't actually come onto Twitter yet, I do actually recommend it. Yeah, Twitter is it's not actually the best social media, but why I recommend it and why I love the Web3 space and what I've come to realize since January is that it's the number one spot for connection making in the whole world. There's no place in the whole world that you can just join a random community, be at the very, very bottom and talk to the guy who's at the very, very top in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Or you have a fucking profile picture, you have a certain amount of followers and people will talk to you differently and you'll be able to connect with these successful businessmen, which I've been able to do in a second. Get on a fucking meeting with them on a fucking Zoom. I never thought I'd be able to actually get in contact with these guys without proving myself first.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Like, I think people are genuinely missing out because I'm able to build connections and it's really important. Like, I'm able to build these connections which could probably last a lifetime. I've never known, for example, Boss of Bali. I've been able to connect with him through an ape chat and
ex-CEO of Binance.
Exactly, stuff like that. Like, these people, well known. I'm able to connect just from having a profile picture.
That's right.
Or
well, you don't even need the profile picture.
No, you don't.
When we went to that IRL event in Brisbane, which was just around DeFi, that's where we met that ex-CEO of Binance.
Exactly.
And the other one, the other like thing that kind of just blew my mind, but it was almost normal in a sense as well, was meeting a guy that holds a bored ape at the IRL meetup. NFT meetup in Brisbane.
Like, it's just a normal guy.
Just a completely normal guy, and he's got a bored ape and 3 mutants.
I think he had like 2 bored apes, 3 mutants. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just wild. Yeah,
it's insane. And I'm gonna put a story out there that I heard from a YouTube video I watched recently. So there's this 19-year-old kid from actually I think he's from Sydney, and he's done a very successful project, 70K on Twitter, sold out. He's made a shit ton amount of money, millions of dollars, and the guy that was doing the YouTube video, Brett Mullenwosky, or I don't know how to say his name. Sorry, bro. He interviewed him. He's like, so how did you do it? Obviously, you don't have experience in business. Similar to me, I don't have experience in actually, this is my first business. So he goes, what I did is I created a spreadsheet, had 900 people's names on there, their @, their Discord names, had 2 columns. One column was me checking up on them every 3 days. So he would message 900 people every 3 days. He would put in their responses. He would keep track of everything they're saying and out of that, he's probably got like 300, 400 mates who are big time guys, and he made sure to connect with them every 3 days, and he had a spreadsheet. Obviously, that's a very extreme example, and I'm not going to do that, but that proves that he didn't come from anything. He didn't have the money. It was just the connections that he had that helped him sell out a project, helped him make a shit. It's like, how did he get these connections? He just joined a few Discords, maybe, got his Twitter followers up, hit a few people up in the DMs. Someone who's really good at it is in our community, obviously Bonglo, but then Dare, he's really good at it. He just hits them up, says, let's jump on a call. Maybe some of them will say no, maybe some of them say yes, and then he just works his magic on the call. And that's how you get into it.
Yeah, the other good thing about Twitter at the moment, which I noticed, is because there's not as much money in the space at the moment, a lot of I wouldn't say all of the scammers, but a lot of the scammers and people that are just in it for the sake of being in it, the spam shit is going.
It's going, yeah.
Yeah, which is fucking, like, you can see the authentic community on Twitter now, which is massive.
And I must mention a scam that's out there right now, because I know there's probably a lot of people from our community watching this, so I might as well make it aware. If you get airdropped an NFT and it's already got a bid on it that's worth like over an ETH, don't accept the bid, because if you accept the bid, they get access to your wallet and they can take everything. So if it looks completely unrealistic that you're getting a high bid on a project that you never even bought, don't accept the bid. I got in my wallet that I'm holding my ledger with my coder and my mutant, I got one of those airdropped to me, and it has a 1.5 ETH offer on it, 1.5 WETH offer. And I was like, holy shit. And I'm like, bro, this is a fucking scam. Looked it up, went on Twitter, saw that a lot of people are seeing this. So yeah, be careful of that. There are still people out there trying to take advantage of you in many different ways. Like, how ridiculous is that? An offer on some people are going to click that and be like, I just got 1.5 ETH on a fucking thing I didn't even buy.
100%.
And then everything's gone.
Yeah, one moment of weakness can cost you fucking everything.
Well, let me talk about something that's becoming extremely popular right now. And Vitalik and the team at Ethereum have recently released their ideas and their concepts and all this for soul-bound tokens, SBTs. this might be even better than the whole NFT technology. This might be something that you at home that have no idea about NFTs or crypto can actually understand and really understand why there's actually a use for the Ethereum. Like this is all based on Ethereum. Why are we all talking about Ethereum? Why are we so bullish on it? Why am I investing in it? Why am I releasing a project on Ethereum? All this. Okay, so soul-bound tokens, they're non-tradable. So NFTs are obviously tradable. Soul-bound tokens are non-tradable. So imagine you graduated from Harvard and instead of giving you a paper diploma, they put something in your crypto wallet, which is a virtual version of your diploma. And because it's an SBT or a soul-bound token, you would never have the ability to sell or send it out. It's tied to your decentralized wallet forever, right? So your decentralized wallet will have everything in there. Your NFTs, your soul-bound tokens, your social media posts, exactly. Imagine you achieve something great at work or you pass a hard level on a video game. Now everyone can publicly view your achievements and prove it's real, you know? Like imagine you have a Harvard graduation certificate in person. Someone could just make a fake one and print it off. But if Harvard actually certified it and put it in your wallet and everyone can see it because it's completely decentralized, then you know what I mean? Like it's so much easier to get jobs.
And that's the use case of the blockchain. It's
blockchain, exactly.
It's real.
It's proving something is real on the internet.
Yeah.
And then, you know, another great example. I actually got this from NFT Kings on TikTok, so don't come after me. I did kind of copy you a little bit, but I'm giving you credit. So I think you just need to understand the power of the blockchain, not necessarily NFTs, anything like that. Let's just talk about Web3 and crypto and the reason why we're investing in the blockchain. Let me give you an example. Imagine Lewis has 350K on his social media account and it's his primary source of income through, you know, collabs, whatever it be, influencer posts. Now imagine he puts out a post and a lot of people don't like it and he gets banned. Well, that's bullshit, right? Because he didn't, you know, that's bullshit. That's not the way the future should be. We need to have control over what we do. So with the blockchain, this would not be the case. Using the great technology of Web3, he can put all of his posts on the blockchain and simply take them and put them on a new social media. This way, no one would own his content and it would be completely decentralized, protecting millions of jobs from the power of these rich and powerful organizations, which have full control over you and your content. This is just an example of thousands of ways businesses will adopt NFTs and Web3. Like, let's be real. Like, think about that. You're a social media influencer. Yeah, you put something out that's a bit, how you going? The media doesn't like it. Maybe you start talking about the C word, C19, or you start talking about, obviously we can't talk about on here, or the government or politics or whatever, and they ban you for that. That's not fair at all.
No.
That's not decentralized. That's not the way we want to live in the future, right? It's the same as Donald Trump. Yeah, he might say some outrageous stuff, but he just got banned. Yeah. That's not okay. So with the power of the blockchain, he could have put all of his posts on the blockchain. They would be completely secure there, and then he can just simply re-upload it onto the new social media. You know?
Yeah.
That's just an example. Obviously, there's so many ways that businesses will incorporate it. There's so many ways that the blockchain will be used in the future, but that's just an example.
It creates so much efficiency. Like coming from a legal background, like the amount of time that businesses and companies spend on getting contracts right and going back and forth with different parties to a contract. Like you put it on the blockchain, it's just going to be everything's just going to be automated eventually, I think.
And they need all these people that have jobs just to do all that, right?
And that's the thing. There's so much opportunity at the moment in terms of getting jobs in this sort of a space, particularly when it grows more and more and more.
Yeah.
And like you're going to have to adapt or you're going to get tossed out.
That's right.
Well, it's like, why would you not invest in the technology that's going to change the way every business goes about, you know, doing everyday business?
Yeah. From
taking payments to verifying, you know, maybe, for example, let's use McDonald's. You, just like the SBTs I was talking about before, you get manager of the year. That's a big achievement to you. You love McDonald's, you know, you've been working for that. They give you a piece of paper. 4 years' time, you might be getting a digital receipt, and then you can go to your next employer and be like, here you go. Yeah. And it's actually legit. Because most employees probably don't even know if your paper's real. Like, I'm shooting off. You could print, if you really wanted you could print a copy, a fake.
Oh, you could edit fucking anything.
Going to concerts even.
But yeah, what a great way for tertiary education to adopt that.
100%.
With your GPA scores and stuff, there's no way you can fuck with it. Everything's literally almost tangible.
Yep.
Not tangible.
And takes out people that cheat.
That's right.
Takes out people that are liars. It makes the world a better place. That's the whole idea, is it makes the world a better place. Maybe it's going to be extremely hard to adapt. A lot of people like control and power. That's why they're taxing us a lot of money. That's why for ETH, like with crypto, that's why they're taxing us a lot. They want power. The governments and the banks, they need their power. These are rich people just trying to get richer, keep everyone in the matrix, rat race, whatever you call it. that's just a
Getting very political here.
that's just my opinion.
You're not wrong though.
But that's why ETH and all these things exist, is because they're going against that.
And that's also why everyone fights the fuck out of it as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's why everyone doesn't like it.
Well, yeah, it just makes everything authentic. Like, it's authenticating everything.
Yeah,
and like, you look at the use cases. Like, we spoke about it with the watches. We spoke about it even with the guy. What's the sports card but NFTs?
Nifty Slabs.
Yeah, Nifty Slabs the other
Slabber
day.
Dan. He might actually be coming on the podcast.
That'd be awesome. Like, just what he's doing around, like, it's just proof of what it is, which I think is just so important.
100%. I think it is very important. I think you guys have got a few things to talk about, but I might get into this really quick because I don't want to stick on it for too long, but someone in our community asked us to speak about this. Where do we see Beefy Blokes in 2 to 3 years? Obviously, I've got the main vision, but I'll let these two touch on where they see it, and then I'll go into where I see it.
Yeah, right. Well, I see it as a cultural brand for Australia and worldwide, to be honest. Obviously, we might have to change some naming rights around that. Beefy Blokes isn't too marketable. It keeps us endemic to a specific audience. But I do see us as an overlying cultural brand for people, just, like inspiring people off our 3 pillars that we always talk about, educating, innovating, and all that good stuff. And I see us taking over that space, almost like a streetwear brand, but not a streetwear brand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, cultural.
Just a cultural brand, to be honest, where we can literally innovate every space and have a community around us.
Well, yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I think the opportunity out there in all the different markets is just so vast right now, whether it be from bouncing from, like, you can do coffee, you could do supplements, you could do literally anything, clothing, and then Beefy Blokes as the NFT project will be one of
many subsidiaries, yes.
Many different things.
Yeah, so I think...
but the biggest thing, I think, goes back to innovating, mentoring, and educating.
Yes.
And while I think everything they said is true, I think the mentoring, educating, innovating, the 3 core pillars directly relate to Beefy Blokes. All right, that's Beefy Blokes is going to be its own thing, cultural brand, like he said, like Lewis said, culture. It's like, for example, Bored Ape, they have Yuga Labs, which is the company brand behind it. Obviously, Beefy Blokes is a company; it's registered in the Australian, But I do see Beefy Blokes as just the smaller company of a mother company. Don't know what the mother company is yet. This is obviously alpha. No one in the community has ever heard this from us. No one in the community has ever known where we see the project in the future. But even tying into the podcast, I think the podcast will be related to Beefy Blokes, the project.
Yeah, we've already started, really.
Exactly. But I also think it's just another part of the mother company. I think this podcast could be going for the next 2 to 3 years. Honestly do.
Yeah, even if no one watches, this is fun as fuck for us.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But like, I think the podcast directly relates to the mentoring and educating thing.
Absolutely.
So that's why I think it relates directly to the NFT project. But I honestly see Beefy Blokes as just the community, the membership that's going to be completely exclusive to get all that information. And then I see a mother company having maybe 2 or 3 extra ones. And I don't want to give too much alpha yet. And not going to lie, we haven't looked too far into it yet. It's something that I'm looking into actually now, especially with the bear market building and really innovating and getting on top of it all. But obviously the main focus has been selling out the project, so it's been a bit of a push in the back. But it's definitely something we're working on. Beefy Blokes is just the community, the profile picture, the way that we can prove that you own something and we can reward you for it. That's just the basics of it, right?
Yeah. I want people to know as well, like, I genuinely think it, like, Beefy Blokes, like, it is so underestimated right now. Like, if you get in the Discord, like, in terms of the content and the value we are providing and will provide with the podcast, is extraordinary. Like, the guests that we're getting on are incredible. The marketplace, like, you come into the community, you interact with a few posts genuinely, and you earn some beef. Like, there are some pretty serious things you can buy which cost you no money. Like a MacBook Air, Apple Watch, NFTs, ETH. Like it's literally free products for being involved in our community.
And like, there's alpha projects out there that have team of 8 researchers and stuff like that, which is cool. But we've got Bungalow doing alpha. It's good enough. But ours is much more affordable. Yeah. And that's just the way, like, maybe it's to do with us being younger and we don't need as much money as these other big guys.
And it's also less intimidating as well. Joining a Discord titled fucking Beefy Blokes, where Bogolo breaks it down for you in simple English. You can read it, you can understand it, rather than joining an alpha group where they break down all this TA, all these charts left, right, and center. Like, fucking, even I don't know what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah.
To be honest. And then when Bongolo lists it, just tells you simply what it is. Do your own research.
Yeah.
Gives you his
Obviously,
main
do
points.
your own research. Yeah, for sure. And he puts that every time.
And
then another really big reason why I'm bullish, and I'm not giving myself credit, but I think it's an attest to the core foundations of the project, is I really focused on building a team around, really making sure that there's a solid foundation, not just after mint, but before mint. Obviously, we'll continue to hire people after mint, but we have 9 people I calculated on our team that are getting payments here and there.
For their contribution.
2 of them being amazing artists. We recently just hired a creative director who's going to take us so far. Really good guy, Dominic. And then we've obviously got our man, Julian, who does our NFT art. And he's also a good guy. Great people. And then we've got our 2 developers. They're proven as successful. Whatever you say about them, they are proven and successful developers. You know, we've got a decent roadmap, like a roadmap that only lasts 6 months, which is unique. Most people, they start their roadmap after, after they mint and after they get the money. But
and one thing, like pulling up the alpha chat now that Bongolo posts in, like we speak so much about education, which is so important to us. And we've always said that in this space, there is just so much content out there that it's hard to wrap your head around. So for example, yesterday, Bongolo posted June 16th market overview. He goes through what's happening with NFTs. He goes through the movers. So for example, Cool Cats went up 28.73%, Doodles 14%, CloneX 8%. And then he also looked at the ones that are losing money. He looked at the hot projects right now, so he's broken it down in terms of the big sale ones. So the other side, 134 sales, Cloudy Me 93 sales. There's a few more there. He's gone into detail about the OpenSea bug, and he's also done a bit of an analysis on ETH.
Yep.
And it's like it's just so simple, but like
effective.
Like like you would have to spend, I reckon, an hour.
More.
Far
Way
more.
more.
Yeah.
Years
to find stuff like that.
Saying, yeah.
Like it would take me probably a good
and
hour.
You can read that in 3
And
minutes.
you've also got to know where to look.
That's right.
He's just giving it to you all in one forum. But like and
that's free right now.
Free.
Whoa. Yeah, free.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Free.
Just
Right now.
claim your beef, and you can buy it after 3 days. But why are we bringing this up? Because it's a big point, and to bring like after mint, we're going to close the Discord. This is all going to become exclusive. Yeah, it's kind of exclusive. Like we're making you buy it, but we're making you buy it with currency that we're giving you for free. Yeah. And there's no grind at all as well. I must add, there's no grind required at all. But like after mint, like it's going to be exclusive, right? And one thing I'm really focusing on right now, as I said, is building those connections. And actually, I'm not getting them in the Discord yet, but soon you're going to see a lot of these bigger guys come into the Discord when we've got more members, because I feel like that's a good time to invite them in. And why am I saying this is because we can do planned, buying. We can do, not any insider trading crap, but like
we can all markets.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's not even possible with less than 5,000 people. But like what I'm trying to say is like we can move as a community. We can, it's
we
powerful.
We can all provide our own insights into that as well.
It's powerful, yeah.
Yep.
And obviously 100%. There's the mental health aspect of our thing. There's this whole bunch of stuff. As Lewis said, you can buy MacBooks, you can buy Ledger so you can keep your crypto safe, your NFTs safe. You can buy calls with me and Lewis and Daniel, and we can just talk to you. You can even, I'm probably going to add a thing so you can call Bongolo.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, just
provide
a whole lot of stuff.
You brought up a topic there that we haven't spoken
mental health
too rawly about on the actual podcast, but mental health.
Yeah, how you going, Lewis? How are we all going?
Good.
Yeah, I've got to say honestly, I'm really almost happy at this point. Like I'm pretty happy. Probably the happiest I've ever been.
Which is a good thing because it's a busy time of year as well. So it's hard to be super happy in an extremely busy time and a stressful time of year.
Well, it's just finding perspective. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Even though we've all fucking gone down in the dumps in terms of a market, like we're still living a great life.
Opportunities.
Living in probably the best country in the world.
Definitely.
We have a great quality of life.
Isn't Brisbane like a top 9 city or something in the world, safest?
It'd have to be. I mean, looking at the Brisbane River there, that looks like shit, but it's still a great city. Well, what about you, Lewis? How are you feeling at the moment? You chilling or?
Well, it's been an interesting, probably couple of weeks. Bit of personal stuff going on with
well, with everything
the
that just
girlfriend and
life,
girlfriend, family stuff. So split from the partner, which like is obviously tough in itself. Like
100%.
you lose such a big part of your life when you move on from someone, and it's kind of like you've almost got to restructure how you look at life. Like where do you almost even start? Like you get up out of bed in the morning and like such a big thing of your life's kind of gone. And then like I jumped into our community and put it out there to a few of the blokes in there. Like what did you guys do when you went through your tough times? And they all kind of give their own advice, and then you adapt that, you bring it on and kind of transfer it into what you can do.
Well, it's also just like hearing that someone else has, been through
something
stuff.
like that. Yeah. And then, because the other thing is, which I think is interesting about me, is when I went through a past relationship, that was hell on earth for me. Then bended into the partying, just going absolutely fucking berserk. And then the pressure that put on the people that were closest around me, like seeing me just self-implode, is then something that then sits at the back of your head, because you don't want them to then worry about what you're going to go and do next
100%.
to cope with what you're going through now.
100%.
So then it's surrounding yourself with the right people to not allow you to fall back into those traps.
Which is something that everyone should really focus on. Everyone hears it all the time. Surround yourself with the right people, but it's so true.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so true.
It's hard, but it's like, for example, this morning, before we did this, we were like, well, let's go and get a coffee down the road and just chat. Like, obviously, mic's off, and just banter it up. And just like even at coffee, like we spoke about some not deep stuff, but like personal stuff in itself, like family sort of stuff. And it's just reaching out to people and connecting with people and just fucking letting it out.
And staying busy.
Yeah, staying busy, but not neglecting
those feelings.
How you feel, because you got to go through that. You got to go through that feel and that process
100%.
of.
And who's to say that Beefy Blokes doesn't become something more than just what we have right now with the mental health? Like, who's to say we don't create an app? Who's to say we don't create a service that has to do with mental health? Because I know Lewis is very passionate about it, and maybe that's what he can fucking. I'm just spitting ideas, This is what I mean by there's a mother company. Beefy Blokes, as Daniel said, it's a very hard name to market, but at the same time, I love it because once we've got those people in, it's exclusive, it's cool, it's the people we want, it's what we want exactly.
Takes the intimidation out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, there's going to be different avenues that we go on and take a path, and will relate to different types of people, but what we're building right now is what we want, and that's the most important thing. I think that's what people fail at a lot in the NFT space. Is they just start building what they think everyone else wants, which is cool because, you still have to be successful and people still have to want and buy it and all that stuff. But as long as you can do what you want and do what you need, which I think I say it all the time in our Twitter space when I first start talking, is like, we are simply doing what we think the space lacked.
That's right. Yeah. Well, the space, even now when we go into fucking AMAs, when I, on the odd occasion, jump into one and I listen to a project shield themselves, I'm like, what the fuck are you even saying?
Yeah.
Like, with respect, Your Honor.
Well, no respect.
No, it's facts. I
can't respect them. They keep trying to say that they're providing value to a community. Like, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah.
Tell me, write down on a piece of paper what you are actually going to give me when I give you $400 fucking dollars to buy this profile picture. Like, what are you giving me?
100%.
Where is my value? Oh, we're going to create a inclusive community, even though that's one of our core pillars, building a community. But like, and then they list off these things, and then you're like, what are you saying?
No, it's
I've heard these words 7,000 times.
People need to be told the truth. And right now, I think it's there's obviously a lot of negative people in space, but the majority of people just want to be positive and they want to help everyone out, which is cool. But part of helping each other out is also being dead honest. And a lot of these projects, and I've got to do it myself more. I listen to these people and they come to me and they ask me for advice and stuff. And I just have to kind of like sugarcoat it sometimes because I don't want to be that guy.
You have to.
But sometimes it's just like, I feel bad. They've probably invested a lot of money. And maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're wrong, and they can provide a cool.
Well, I'm not naming anyone.
No, neither am I. When I say this, I don't think of any specific projects.
No.
At all. I don't actually at all. But like, there is a goddamn amount of shitty projects out there. But go back to I wasn't around obviously, but go back to 1999 or 2003, and when the internet was starting, there was
that
thousands
internet bubble
and thousands and thousands and thousands of trashy shit that doesn't last. It's the same thing why we're trying to build a project that does last. And I think part of that, back to what I was saying before, is if we can prove that we can be around in bearish times like right now, then, you know, it's just a proven success for the next.
Then we'll be around when gold's pissing out of the sky. No, but back to the whole raw honest chats are something that I really want to talk to Lewis about. Not so much you, like Jackson.
Here we go.
Just because you're full time.
You speaking to the mic?
Full time Web3 Beefy Blokes businessman.
He's put me on the spot here.
So our personal goals, Lewis, are obviously pretty entwined with our career and business goals. How do you take your personal goals outside of that?
I struggle with it.
The same here.
I spoke to someone last night about this, and it was like, I was asked, like, what drives you? It was, what's your biggest insecurity and what drives you? And I said, well, probably my biggest insecurity is that I'm not doing enough, and that's why, like, I was selling the shoes, for example, and then trying to flip NFTs, trying to trade some crypto.
Yep.
And that's something that I think now that I've got more time for me, it's like I've got to sit down, I've got to do the personal, family, professional, set the three down, and go from there. Yeah, Phil DeBella. Yep. I think it's just so important. Otherwise you get caught in your rat race, you get caught in your head.
That's right. You value yourself on how good you're doing business-wise, how good you're doing at your job, which really should have no value on Lewis as a person.
Yeah,
sure.
How do you deal with it?
Don't.
Yeah.
Which is the issue, because I obviously being at work like every day, then obviously come here, like this is my life. If you know what I mean. Like you're at work, fucking 50 hours a week. That's like pretty much the whole time you're awake during the day, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that I'd probably have to strategize and think of an actual way to do it. But I don't know why I excluded you there, Jackson, but that comes into you as well. Cool. Because obviously, if Beefy Blokes, obviously we're doing great at the moment, but how do you then value Jackson outside of Beefy Blokes?
I mean, I think
like taking
it's obviously something that everyone
out of it.
I think it's something that everyone struggles with, but like I think for me personally, it's finding a hobby that I really enjoy, and I'm pretty lucky that I love basketball. It's like one of my other passions, and I think if you can find another passion, something that when you have free time, or maybe it is making free time for that, you know, like for me, it's watching basketball. Obviously, the NBA Finals just finished, or playing basketball. For me, that clears my head, makes me feel good. I like seeing improvement when I play, stuff like that. I think that's super important as well. And then also, the gym makes me feel good as well.
Yep.
Like as funny as it is, a pump actually does make me feel good after.
Yeah.
You know, have some pre-workout, have a pump. But at the same time, like back to what you're saying, it's impossible to honestly.
Have that. One thing I would say though is all these people on Instagram. I saw this fucking TikTok the other day of this guy who was trying to be like Gary Vaynerchuk, but he wasn't like Gary Vaynerchuk. And he was saying like you shouldn't have any free time. Every time you're awake, you should be grinding and shit. But what a load of crap that is. Like when you play basketball, you're not making any money.
No.
You're doing it because you enjoy playing basketball. Like everyone should have that hobby that they don't. They just genuinely enjoy doing.
Yeah, I find it fascinating how these big people do it. When I say big people, I'm talking about like CEOs and people that run businesses. And you see a bit of it on their social media. But I was at a friend's house the other day, and this person's one of his parents is he runs one of the biggest multinational companies in the world. And as I was walking out of the house, one of his parents who is seen to always just working constantly 24/7, 365, and I'm sure he was sitting on the couch watching Netflix, just stopping and taking a time to just chill. And it was like, okay, you don't see that from the outside looking in when you're seeing them as that professional that they are, but they do it to then restore the brain.
It helps their mental.
Yeah, and like some of them, so there's one guy, El Perez, who we're hoping to get on the space, who's carexpert.com. He says that he goes out and just goes for a drive. Like that's his release time, and that's the only time he feels that he can just clock off.
I can get around that as well. I feel that as well. Like not just going for a drive, but going for a drive and playing the music I like. That definitely helps me as well. Like 100%. Even just, I think music as well. If you're if you're a music person, really just sit there and just enjoy the music and just take a second to chill.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of the why people grind is because they see people like Elon Musk who are built differently. Their brain simply just works differently.
Yeah.
Like, of course, he's grind. There's no time for basketball for Elon Musk. There's no time for watching Netflix for Elon Musk probably.
But
we don't know
Elon
this.
Musk, bro.
We don't know this. Exactly.
Like,
That's the most important. Do what you think you can do. Stay within your, but then at the same time push yourself.
Oh yeah, of course. There's always time for pushing yourself.
And it'll probably take a bit of time as well to figure out how you are at your best potential. So for example, I'm starting to tinker with my sleep a little bit. Like, do I work better off 6 hours sleep, 7 hours sleep, 8 hours sleep?
Yeah.
Do I work better if am I better mentally if I work out in the morning, or better if I work out at night? What food am I putting into my body, and how is that going to affect how I think and how I act?
Yeah, definitely.
And like, although I say it all, it takes a fuck ton to actually start doing all that stuff as well. And then I think it comes back to hold up, fucking pause, stop, block out an afternoon, sit down, personal, professional, family, and then you're not floating. Because otherwise you're chasing something, but you don't know what you're chasing.
Yeah, it doesn't exist, dude.
And I think the number one thing I want to say right now while we're all on this is just, if there's something that is constantly making you stress, constantly tearing you down, it's just ditch it. It's not worth it.
That's right.
Even if it's a 3-year thing that you've just committed to, or you've already done 2 years, I'm just like, I'm not referring to uni. I'm just saying in general, like, if there's something out there that's just stressing you out, maybe it's a person that you're friends with that's stressing you out, just get them the fuck out of there. Like, seriously, it's not worth it. At the end of the day, you are you, and at the end of the day, you're only going to think about your thoughts. You know, not everyone's pretty selfish, you know, in a way. Like, it's just a fact.
And it's okay to be selfish.
At the end of the day, everything revolves around you technically, because it does, you know.
That's right.
Don't be that guy though that's like constantly selfish.
Yeah,
but
I heard an analogy. I heard an analogy the other day, and it was like, okay, think about it. And some people may strongly disagree with this, but this is my perspective on it. Think about it as a business. So you are a business, right? And so, for example, a toxic relationship or friendship, is that taking stuff out of the business, or is it putting like cash flow into the business?
That's a good way of thinking.
If it's taking it out of the business, is it a decent expense on the business that's going to help the business in the long run? Or is it just going to drain the business and continue to drain the business? If it is draining the business,
fuck it off.
Out. Like, you've got to cut it like fast and quick before you go down and you go under. If it's adding to the business, well, then keep it around.
Yeah.
Baby.
It's so funny that's so like, I like that analogy, but it's so funny because I know a lot of people will be like, bro, like, I don't understand that, because like they understand it probably because it's simple, but like, it's like because they don't relate to business, but like, it's so, I don't know why, that's just so funny to me that like the way you put it.
You just equated like a girlfriend to cash.
Yeah.
No, and like well, we can go for example, drinking alcohol. Like, is it making you a worse person? Is it making the business worse? Or is it doing it in the short run, but in the long run, is it making you a better person?
That's right. Well, yeah.
Or is it making you a better person in the short run, but in the long run, it's going to end up losing money
as well. Yeah.
And then let's just put it out there. I mean, how many like parents do you know that have like so many friends? And the reason, like, right now you probably have like 10, 20 friends maybe, and you just finished school. Like, bro, are you serious? Like, you actually think all those people are good for you? Like, I reckon it's the number one thing people should do early is cut off the negative people around you. It's just not worth it, especially when you're young, because you're going to realize eventually anyway. They're going to do something, they're going to piss you off, and then it's just going to be worse off.
Yeah.
Cut them off. If they're fucking upset about it, they're upset about it. It's, you know, I think that's the number one thing people don't do, is they don't cut off people when they should.
Well, another thing you mentioned there was university, and I think a lot of people need to take a long, hard look at uni as well.
Definitely.
Because you need you said like committing to a 2-year thing, it's a fucking big ask. And I remember when I was 19 and I just switched uni courses, and that was something that really took a lot out of me, because I was doing engineering for a year. Hardest thing I've ever fucking done. Hats off to anyone who completes an engineering course. But that was something that I had to do, was switch courses, and that took a long time of actually thinking about it and doing it. So never be afraid to cut that line.
Sure.
And do that. Because I mean, now I'm better off. Like,
and you love that you made that decision, right?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, 100%. And we know people, they've dropped out of uni, and I've gone and seen them do good things now. Like, it's about finding your path, I think. I mean, don't get me wrong though. Like, we're saying, drop out. We're not saying drop out.
No, we're not saying. But I also know people who are stuck to the course.
Exactly.
They're fucking miserable.
But at the same time, if you've done 2 years, probably don't drop out, man.
Maybe stick it out. Yeah, stick it out. But do whatever makes you happy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly.
Right, how long have we been going for?
I think we've been going for an hour.
An hour.
Yeah, an hour.
Wow. All right. Well, any final words?
We'll leave it with some positive stuff.
Send the
Yeah,
lads off.
yeah,
We'll leave it with some positive
Some
stuff.
positivity.
So, like, I think come join our Discord. If you've made it to the end, obviously you somewhat like us as people. It's just us three. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to be.
Like, if you don't have a Discord account, I completely understand because it's so confusing. Like, I'm talking to those 30-year-olds that might be watching those 40-year-olds maybe. No, that's just the facts. A lot of people aren't older, they're on Discord. You know, we can help you. You know, it's something, it's very confusing at first. Like, Lewis only just got his head around it all, and I don't think Daniel has his head around it all yet.
Can't.
But Lewis only just got his, like, we'll help you. I promise we'll help you. There's a lot of people in there that are helpful, and it's worth it. I mean, there's so much information that you can find on there. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Like, there's just so much information on there. Well, that's good.
Well,
I
hold
think
on. Full disclosure, I do know how to use Discord. That's all right. All right, well,
Just don't have it downloaded.
Yeah, just sometimes it just doesn't fit on my phone. Well, on that note, lads, I'll see you back here next week for episode 9.
Yep.
Giddy up.